It's Monday. Yeah, that thing didn't go. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is Monday. It is the end of Monday. It's June 10th. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are doing good. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit that like, thumbs up, share, whatever. Spread the word. You know, that's what we want to do right now, right? Hopefully you guys are doing good, and thank you for, of course, clicking in and joining in. Let's talk some nerdy stuff. We're going to be talking about some Superman DCU stuff that's been all over the place the past few days. And then, of course, we got the Batman Part 2, which some things came about with that, and some exciting things it sounded like at first. I got burned, guys. I got burned. And I'm going to explain what I mean by getting burned. And then we'll talk about the box office of Bad Boys Ride or Die, and then we got some Deadpool and Wolverine goodies and something about a cameo that I guess is not going to happen, but who knows? Yeah, anyways. So much stuff. So much stuff. What do we got here? All right. Let's make sure. Is this right? Yeah, it's pretty good. Hold on. There we go. What's going on, Antonio? Good to see you. Hey, we got Jason McKenzie right here. Thank you, sir, for the $30 super chat. Helping out the pirate ship. With a little bit helps. That's right. LUTHOR Corp. Not LexCorp. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It is pretty interesting. We'll talk about that. That's what was spotted. We got Ryan right here. Good to see you. We got Mr. Nobody. Hey, everyone. Is it just me, or does it feel like Nicholas Hoult is going to nail Lex Luthor? I certainly damn hope so. It sounded like that's going to be the case. Sound like it's going to be the case, hopefully. Everybody saying hi to each other. We got Lane right here. Good to see you. What's up? Word has it that Biden did shit himself on stage. Indeed. I think he's shit himself probably numerous times. There's been many videos where it's just going, yeah, there's probably been more than one occasion where that's been happening. But hey, you know, it's whatever. That's what we got, folks. That's what we got. And we got Phil right here. Good to see you as well. All right. And it's pretty much the heat is too much. Where are you low? It's a little warm. Yeah, the heat's definitely kicked in. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty relaxed weekend. Didn't really do anything. I had dinner with the family last night with Mama Film Junkie, Brother Film Junkie, and Nephew Film Junkie, and we watched the Dodgers and the Yankees play, and we're just chilling, sipping some champagne, and yeah, Mama Film Junkie made quite a meal. So that's pretty much all my weekend was. It was that and me just rewatching all the Bad Boys movies. Finally finished Shogun, and that series, of course, is if anybody hasn't watched it yet, do yourself a favor, watch it. I don't know how they're going to continue it. We kind of talked about that on the Vodka stream, because Shogun obviously is based off a novel, and now that they want more because that's what studio wants, because it's popular, so it's like, okay, now they want more, so they're going to continue things. But I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But yeah, we got that. And we got Mr. Axel right here. Good to see you. We got Gilmer. What's happening? We got Shane. What's going on? And we got Nerdy Mastermind here saying RIP Comic Storian. Now, yes, may he rest in peace too, and condolences to his friends and family. Now, I didn't really follow Comic Storian as much. Kind of crazy because, like, we just had, like, what? Scott, what's his name? Scott, I forgot his last name, but it's like we've had two people in the community of comics and movies and stuff like that have passed away. Just like, what the hell's going on right now? I mean, in the past couple of weeks, kind of crazy. But yeah, I didn't really follow Comic Storian all that much, but I saw that today too. I was like, oh, damn. So just somebody else lost in the community. So what's going on, Stephanie T? Good to see you. James Clavel. universe is very fast, Dave. There's a lot more Shogun stories to tell. Okay, but what? Okay, but I'm hearing from Scott, who's like the novel guy, going like he's worried because, he made it sound like there was just one particular novel. So are we saying that Scott did not know that there was multiple novels? Is that what's happening? Because I'm just going by Scott. He's the novel guy. He's the book guy. So he's just, he's worried because there was just based off that particular novel. So if there's more, if there's more to those characters or more to that story, I mean, the way that the last episode plays out seems like there definitely is. So. But yeah, if he's got more stories, if it's a Game of Thrones type of situation where they can actually continue with the books and all the stuff, so all right, perfectly okay with that. But like I said, I was just going by how people were like, it's just one book. Now we're gonna go outside the book. All right, I don't know. Like I said, just going by them. But anyways, yeah. Other than that, just pretty chill weekend. Yeah, it's getting warm. In SoCal, gotta love it, right? Gotta love it. The heat is on. The definite heat is on. All right. Turn the chat off. And let's just get right into it, guys. Let's go into if I can find it. Here we go. Jesus. All right, we're going to start off with something pretty interesting at first, too. Oh, my Lord. Oh. This is what we're going to start off with. And to be honest, I was like, when this came about, I went, oh, sweet. Love this. Absolutely love this. Twilight of the Gods. Hans Zimmer apparently scored the music for Twilight of the Gods. What? So 4 years ago, so-and-so and I were writing the show while I breakfast and my newborn, and tonight the now 4-year-old kid picked up my dress for the Twilight of the Gods rap party. You all, it's good. It's a weird-ass hard R animated retelling of the Norse god of mythology, boasting the cheerfully demented leadership of course, Zack Snyder, and the amazing talents of Sylvia Stewart, and we got some people. And then not to mention Hans Zimmer, September on Netflix. That shit's batshit and delightful. Come for the cartoon threesomes. Stay for the badass animation. What? Did I read that right? Come for the cartoon threesomes. All right. And we're going to have Hans Zimmer scoring Twilight of the Gods as well? Like what? I'm wondering how that came about. Well, that's pretty cool right there. So get excited for it. And of course, there was actually like footage that was released too. We'll see it in a little bit. But Hans Zimmer, what the hell? That is his. That just shows you Zack Snyder stuff. It's going to be gold. Let's see. There's other novels that kind of tie into Shogun that aren't continuations, but they're all by the same author. Okay. But does it have similar characters like what we've seen? That's what's going to be interesting. Anyways, yeah. We can have more Shogun talk when we talk with Scott. But yeah, Hans Zimmer. That was like, wow, all right. Thank you, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, for this quote right here, because a lot of people were kind of wondering if there was ever going to be a sequel to Superbad. And I love Superbad. Probably one of my all-time favorite comedies. There are few things that are best left untouched. Let's fucking leave it as is, says Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Yes, we don't need a sequel to Superbad. I mean, I'm sure that there's been many pitches and many asks for it to see, like, where is Seth and where's Evan? It's just kind of funny because, the writers, Seth, Goldberg and Rogen, they use their first names for the main characters that Michael Cera and Jonah Hill play, Seth and Evan. But yeah, and then McLovin, a lot of people were kind of going, maybe there should be a follow-up. No, I don't think there should be. It's just one of those that's a stamp in time. It worked for the time. It worked for then. And if you do a sequel now, I don't know. I don't think it would actually work. I don't know. That's just me. To see where Evan and Seth are in their adult lives, I don't know if I want to see that. And McLovin too. Should we see that? Probably not. So I'm glad they actually kind of said, nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We don't need a super bad part 2. But we do need this. We need this, and we've been needing this, and thankfully, it looks like the Academy is actually going to give it to us. It's about fucking time. The Academy is exploring the possibility of adding a stunt category to the Oscars. We're talking to members of the stunt community, says Academy CEO Bill Kramer. It's about time. It's about time. That's what I'm talking about. I think a lot of us... It's all right. A lot of us have been wanting that for the longest because it's an art form. And not to mention, people risk their lives to make the main actor look really good and the main characters look really good. It's definitely an art form, and I love the fact that it's like, finally, they're going to consider that. Yes, there should be, just because, and I think that would actually drive a little bit more people interested to see that category and who wins that category, because stunts, they're fun. They're great. We love stunts, you know, especially when, like when somebody like Tom Cruise, does some crazy shit. We specifically love that because it's actually Tom Cruise actually doing it. But still, there's still a stunt crew that's involved, and there's still many pieces within the stunt community that are involved when it comes to that. So good job to the Academy for finally going like, hey, yes, we have to consider this. I know. After all the John Wick movies came out, right, and the Mission Impossible movies, now they're finally going to have the category. Jeez, they would have cleaned house. They would have cleaned house, but, it's good that they're actually freaking about to do it. We got the Terminator anime that's coming out, Terminator Zero. Timothy Olyphant is actually going to be voicing the Terminator, the main Terminator. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. And this is what we were talking about when it came to Twilight of the Gods right here.
We fear no gods.
There you go. Twilight of Gods from Zack Snyder. So there you go. There's the footage, like 6 seconds of footage that we got. I'm sure more is coming for sure. Just like we have more Godzilla and Kong that's coming. And, what's his name that did the last two? Not going to be returning, which made sense. But now we got Grant Spator. Grant Spator. We all know who Grant Spator is, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. No, of course you don't. I mean, not a name. Not a name for sure. But he did make an interesting movie that's on Netflix that I don't hate, and I watched, and I went, okay, it was interesting. It's called I Am Mother. Sci-fi weird kind of movie that's on Netflix. That came out like 5 years ago, and the guy hasn't directed anything since. When I looked up his IMDb, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he's got some things in development, but I looked at his IMDb and I'm like, wow, he hasn't made anything since that movie? All right. But he's going to be directing the next Kong and Godzilla movie, so we'll see what happens when it comes to that. All right. All right. Who's seen this? I have not seen this. Apparently this video has been around. Apparently this video has been around for a bit, and I have not seen this right here, but this made me pretty much crack up.
For a treat. Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patty, yo. I made some crab apples for dessert now.
That's hilarious. That's what when I saw that on my timeline, I went, what the hell? How have I not seen this? This is why you love the internet. To put that in that scene right there, and everybody's looking at Tony, or and it's just absolutely hilarious. I saw that and I laughed, literally just like louder than I did right now. That's just gold. It's pure gold right there. That is pure internet gold. I'm surprised I did not catch that video at first, but when it first made the rounds. Insane. Okay, now what else we got? We'll be talking about all that, of course. Let's see. Oh, so guys. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save this. Save it for Wednesday's show. I'm going to save this for Wednesday's show. I got not one, but two little fan film thingies, fan series, whatever you want to call it, that we'll talk about on Wednesday's show. We'll talk about that on Wednesday's show. I'm going to save it. Because, yeah, there's going to be some interesting things that come from that. We got Gal Gadot. She posted this right here, popped up on my phone today, not 8 years ago. So just her, 8 years ago. So what, back in 2016. So basically looking like, if it was 8 years ago, I think they've already had BVS already in the bag, maybe not. This was 2016. I'm guessing that this was maybe they were already like going into Justice League when she took this picture. It seems to me like maybe they were already going into Justice League. I don't think because 2016 BVS that's when it came out. So I'm thinking this was like Justice League. This was on the set of Justice League right there. She was a great Wonder Woman, but yes, basically there was that, and then of course there was James Gunn. Basically, a lot of people were talking about him confirming that yes, she is in fact not coming back because somebody asked on Threads, Jimmy Gunn's, if he has Wonder Woman cast, and he said no, and it was like okay. So then there was like all these reports. Yeah, he confirmed that Gal isn't coming back. I'm like, yeah, I think we all got the sense of that, or at least people who were paying attention got the sense of that right off the bat, that Gal wasn't going to be returning after Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman 3 kind of fell through. Yeah, we accepted that, but she had, she had a good run. She had probably the best run out of all of them, to be honest. She probably showed up the most. Maybe her and Affleck kind of showed up the most when it came to that group, right? Sadly Cavill didn't. He only part of his body did at one point. You guys want to see something pretty scary that might freak you out a little bit when it comes to the argument of does Superman need the chonies or does he not need the chonies? I would say that depending on the costume, that's when the chonies come into play. And when it comes to, modern day costumes, Superman definitely needs the chonies. But if you're going to take an existing Superman costume and remove the chonies, this is what you get. Ah! What is that? Ew, that just doesn't look good at all. Yeah. At least put a belt on or something. Ugh. I can't look at... It's a freaking car accident. I can't look away. Ugh. Yes. That's just... That'll freak anybody out. That just doesn't look good right there. I saw that DCU updates posted that. I'm like, whoa, yeah, that just does not look... That does not look good, too, okay? I just need some bleach in the eyes, and maybe that's... But it is kind of funny, because it's like, when we constantly talk about the chonies and the not chonies, it's like, yeah, sometimes with certain costumes, the chonies actually help. But maybe just a belt might have helped that, but I still don't think it would have helped. I think the chonies were actually needed for at least that costume. Now, when you add chonies onto Henry Cavill's costume, fuck that. Fuck that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, man, I cannot believe that on June 8th, 2 days ago, on Saturday, was the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters. What? God damn. Crazy. 40 years ago that Ghostbusters came out. Insane. Insane to think about that. Man, I was like, all right, my back hurts. My back hurts. Let's see what we got here. Hey, you want to see a cool image of Wayne T. Carr as Green Lantern? Look at this. That's beautiful. DCF United posted this right here. Man, they made that little edit. And it looks good. Looks good. Look at the muscularization into the suit right there. But pretty clean edit. Very clean edit right there. Especially with all the Green Lantern talk we've been so much Green Lantern talk in the past couple of weeks with the series, with the fan film, all the stuff. But yeah, good job with DCF United right there, making that beautiful, beautiful piece of art right there. And let's see, we got this. Hold on. All right, so we got this right here. So obviously, Bad Boys Ride or Die came out this weekend, and you know, it's been. I think for most of us, especially if you grew up a Will Smith fan, you kind of just like the whole slap thing. Yeah, it wasn't a good thing, and we hope that Will Smith is in a better place now, even though he's still with that bullshit. Anyways, I think he'd be in a better place if he wasn't with her. Anyways, besides all that, is the fact that Will Smith, I think we've all just been like, all right, whatever. I want to go see another new Bad Boys movie. Let's do this. Turns out Will Smith made a little bit of a surprise when it came to moviegoers over the weekend at Cinemark. So people just walking out. And there's Will Smith. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Walking out of the Bad Boys movie, probably loving it, and then all of a sudden Will Smith is just right behind you, and he was in the movie theater the entire time watching it with you. So you can actually say that I watched Bad Boys Ride or Die with Will Smith. That's just good shit right there. I love it when you see this stuff. Within the people. These are the people. So good. See, that's just good stuff right there. Also creates a good word of mouth for the movie. And just, you know, just getting in touch with the audience. It's great. There's other angles, too. I think Will Smith even posted on his Instagram and everything showing all that. I mean, he was like, he had the mask on, which is smart on him to like, he was wearing a hat and then wearing a mask. So people couldn't really see him. Oh yeah, here's another angle of it right here. So here's another, I think this is from him right here. So there he was watching it with her. Seeing everybody's reaction. And then of course we see that. Same. There you go. It's just another angle. Just good stuff. Just the way you should do it. I love it when the actors and the directors like show up to their movies and talk with the crowd. It's what it's all about. Especially the way that movie theaters are like, you know, struggling right now. It's like it's always good to see that people are like going to the movies, and then when you see something like that, I don't know, just warms the heart. Awesome stuff. Anyways, and then speaking of course, Twilight of the Gods and Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder praises, of course, animation heights of Twilight of the Gods. Twilight of the Gods was a show that we've been working on for quite some time, years in the making, actually. So there's Zack and Debbie right there. I don't know exactly where they're at. It's not in the description. It said, I've always been obsessed with Norse mythology. I love mythology in general. And so the idea of actually being able to dig into the rich tapestry of heroes and gods was an incredible opportunity for both of us. So there they are right there, showing off some Twilight of the Gods. Love it. More Zack Snyder content. We got the director's cuts, and we got Twilight of the Gods. That's great stuff. I don't think anybody's actually shocked by this. Nobody's going to be shocked by this. You guys aren't going to be shocked by this. I think none of us are going to be shocked by this. But, you know, and the rumors were already circulating. A lot of things were already circulating when it came to this. Oh, yeah, we're going into gossip here, folks. We're going into gossip. We're going into something that I'm sure you're not shocked about at all. J-Lo and Ben Affleck are now selling their house as they head towards divorce, TMZ reports. Where is it? Where is it? I gotta find the drops. Damn it. Where is it? There we go. Womp womp. So there you go. Nobody's shocked by this. Is anybody? I mean, it was like, yeah, Ben. I mean, Ben's had, he's had his struggles in the past decade, 2 decades. I don't know what you want to call it, but getting back with J-Lo probably wasn't the best idea. I mean, sure, it probably seemed like a good idea after the pandemic. I mean, he went from Ana de Armas to J-Lo. I mean, he went back to J-Lo, I guess you could say. I mean, looking at it from like, hey, good job, Ben. But at the same time, it's like, man, you made a family with Jennifer Garner, and how did you fuck that up, Ben? Come on, you have kids with her, and she seems so wholesome and everything, and then you do your okay. But it's just like one of those things. I mean, there's a whole THR article that came out today talking about the unlikability of J-Lo, and that's the reason why she canceled her summer tour, because J-Lo canceled her tour that she was going to be going. You remember how she had an album that came out recently that charted like number 33? Nobody fucking cared about this, about the fucking album, and then she was on Saturday Night Live with what's her name, who talked shit about her on a podcast 5 years ago, saying that she can't sing, she has no talent, and all that stuff. Awkward, a little bit awkward, but yeah, people started going like, wow, J-Lo is just really not all that talented, is she? She really isn't. She's not a bad actress. I did watch that Atlas movie. It wasn't terrible, but it was seriously some sci-fi channel Friday night afternoon type of shit. Sure, but it still got a lot of fucking views when it came to Netflix and their numbers, according to their numbers. So it still, I guess, still did pretty well. But nobody was wanting to go see J-Lo on her new tour. And then, of course, she canceled it, saying, like, gonna be spending time with family. I have to do this. Like, no, you didn't have to do that. Your tickets were not being sold. So then you came up with this bullshit saying, like, oh, the reason why I'm canceling is because of family. Yeah, okay. And then now this is happening. Poor Ben. I just worry about him, I worry about him falling off again. And, I mean, probably already has when it comes to stuff. I just hope it doesn't. It's just like one of those things. I mean, hopefully he has a good support group. I mean, obviously he has his production company with Matt Damon, and hopefully that just can keep things, well for him. Keep things going well for him. But, man. Anyways. Well, we got the corn guy out there. You can hear the little siren. Oh, guys. I had a viral tweet that happened over this weekend, guys. What? It happens every now and again where, yeah, it's kind of fun to... I love it when I go back and revisit franchises and movies and do like rewatches, because I did this with Ghostbusters, done this with the other movies too. And then sometimes there's just things when you watch it, when you haven't watched certain movies in a long time, and then you rewatch them again and you just have like this new appreciation for them. And I, of course, with Bad Boys Ride or Die coming out this past weekend, I, of course, watched it. And then I went back and watched the first 3 over on Saturday. And one of the things that, obviously you got the first one, the second one's absolutely crazy, and then the third one, that's of course not this is where it's not Michael Bay anymore. But when I was watching Bad Boys 2, there's still, this scene is just one of my all-time favorite action sequences in general. But when it comes to the Bad Boys franchise, man, and I tweeted it out, and I'm like, you know what? This scene right here just is still the best, and Michael Bay was a fucking crazy person for making this. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know exactly which, obviously we're not going to watch the whole thing, but it was this scene right here. It's just absolutely goddamn crazy. What the hell was that? This scene right here.
Who in my house? I'm the devil. Who
this shot. What the hell?
Welcome here. You got to call yourself the devil in his house. Shit.
This scene is absolutely batshit crazy. The way that the camera just revolves around the room, and I remember seeing it in the trailer, and it was like, holy crap. And then you just kind of like watch it, and it goes through the window as they're shooting. It's just so freaking, it's just absolutely insane. And this scene right here, this sequence is so executed perfectly because you have both the characters shining, because you even have Martin Lawrence's character, of course, hiding in the bathroom, and he's like trying to calm Mike Lowry down, but Mike is just like, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna fuck these guys up. This scene is just beautiful. It's just beautiful the way that it plays out and the way that they yell at each other, you know? It's just so good. Oh yeah, I already have it turned down. Oops.
Go ahead. We're not immigration.
It's just stupid shit like that. It's all executed so freaking well. And just even like the way it ends. It's just, that scene should be studied when it comes to action sequences. Michael Bay was, I don't know if he was smoking some good shit or whatever the hell when he and his crew came up with that sequence. It's just, it's a fucking chef's kiss. It's a chef's kiss of a sequence right there. Just so good. But I tweeted that out, and it's got over over 500,000 views on Twitter. People are still commenting on it. And it's just really cool when something like that happens, because, you know, sometimes a tweet will pop off and, you know, people come together and realize, oh yeah, remember this movie, this sequel that came out in what, 2003, I think it was? So good. Just such good shit. Let's see. We don't need to talk about that. We'll talk more about that. Uh-oh. So, all right, so Knives Out 3 has begun shooting, and Daniel Craig as Mr. Blanc. I don't know how you do you say his first name? Benoit Blanc? Am I saying that right? Probably not. Go away. But we got our first look right here. Looks like he's been growing his hair out a little bit. I don't know. Daniel Craig with long hair. That's going to be something to get used to. We don't have his normal haircut, so I'm glad they're changing it up, at least. But, you know, still looking sharp. Just kind of threw me off. I'm like, oh, he's got long hair this time. Love it. And oh my God, guys. After so much demand, because I know there's been campaigns, fans rallying up together. There's probably like, you know, Reddit feeds and Twitter communities and Facebook communities. But finally, guys, it's happening. The fights, we've been fighting for it for 25 years, 30 years, but it's finally happening. Warner Brothers has listened to the fans. A sequel to Practical Magic is in the works. Do you guys know what Practical Magic is, right? It's a movie starring Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, and they're witches. I don't know. That's all I know about the movie. I think I might have watched it one time when it was on HBO when I was younger. But yeah, we're getting a sequel. You guys have been heard. We've all been heard. All right. When I read that, I'm like, what? Like, all right, Practical Magic 2. Sweet. I mean, I guess somebody out there wants that. Don't know. I don't quite know. Anyways, we got a little teaser for Severance, that show coming back to Apple TV. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, this is gold, of course. How it should have ended. And, well, of course, we've seen this animation series on YouTube for the longest time. And, you know, obviously it shows, like, how a movie should have ended. And especially when it comes to superhero movies, we always have the great exchange, you know, between Batman and Superman at the diner, sipping coffee. And, you know, usually Batman is always just like, because I'm Batman. You know. And I swear I came up with Casual Batman before I saw this character, but it's very Casual Batman-esque. But they tackled the new Superman suit. And they nailed it. They nailed it.
I have to do something, man. I can't even put on my shorts without it being a controversy.
Exactly.
I put my shorts on? No, don't wear your shorts. I take my shorts off. Ah, where's the classic Superman? There's no middle ground. What am I supposed to do? Wear the shorts halfway?
Yes.
Look,
why
you
not?
want to make a good first impression. All you gotta do is just stand up tall, looking strong and confident, and that will get the people fired up.
How do you feel? Fired up.
Oh. What? Well, I sort of did that, but instead I just kind of showed myself putting on my boots with this kind of somber look. Well, that sort of sounds like the opposite of what I just said. I was nervous about showing my shorts. You already did dark and gloomy for 10 years. I know that. You need to be bright and awe-inspiring. I get it. You think I don't see how much is riding on this? I have to set the tone and be the peak hero everyone wants me to be so we can have a long run of great DC adventures. That's right. I have to do so...
Of course it's not working. There it is. Good job, guys. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Oh, you nailed it. Especially when it came to the whole, you know, chonies or no chonies. I mean, because there's just, yeah, I mean, people get really heated and the debate over that it's just so back and forth. But yeah, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. He's like, well, I kind of just had me sitting down, putting my boots on. I really hope that Jimmy Gunn saw that. I hope he did. I hope he did. It's funny. Gotta have a sense of humor about it, right? Anyways. What is this? Jesus Christ. Man, they're just adding all kind of... I didn't know I had this. So my computer... I don't know if I triggered something, I clicked something, but... there's like a new Microsoft AI, because AI is just everywhere. You know, my Android phone now has Gemini. That's AI. That's Google's AI. And then Microsoft has Copilot. And it just kind of just like popped out of my screen right there. I was like, what is that? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Copilot. AI assistant. It's all over the place now. And yeah, there was like the whole Apple thing today that happened today too. You know, I mean, it's always funny, like, because they had the Apple event today, and of course talking about the new OS, a lot of things on the OS that, you know, that you can now do and customize when it comes to your iPhone. You know, it's been on Android phones for a decade plus, which is always funny. It's whatever, but I mean, I've always been an Android phone guy, never had an iPhone. I've had Apple computers. They've been great. I don't have them anymore because, you know, they kind of crapped out. Now I'm back on, you know, Microsoft computers. Don't really have anything Apple anymore. And I'm just like, it just kind of cracks me up. And apparently with their AI, they're actually using ChatGPT as their AI. I don't know. It was all a bit like it was an interesting thing that was happening when it came to that event. A lot of people were kind of going like, this is what's happening with this event. Not really much going on here. And then some people were not even doing they, you know, Elon Musk was not happy with Apple when it came to when it came to how they're going to be utilizing ChatGPT. I don't know. I haven't really dug into it all that much. Bay and Snyder are very similar directors when you think about it. Yeah, they have similarities. They definitely do. Pre-Transformers Bay was pretty fun, that 360 shot. I'm telling you, it's one of the best. That again, that action sequence is so well paced and just so well executed. I think it's I would say it's like perfect. It's like when I would think of like an action sequence, like how can you make it pretty perfect? And that's pretty damn perfect. You know, starting it off with the slow-mo, the music, the banter back and forth. I know, like, there was people, like, because obviously I still have people that are commenting on it. Like, you could go to that tweet. So, like I said, it's coming close to 600,000 impressions. And you can see all the quote tweets and all the quote tweets. And everybody's just totally raving about it. But there are going to be those people that are like, oh, yeah, but the Haitians don't sound like Haitians. So, you know, there's that whole thing. So people are we're kind of upset about that. But it's still such a great scene. Such a great scene. Didn't know they made that movie. Yeah, we were talking about the witch movie. Always love how it should have ended. Yeah. What's going on, Andy? Andy's out there. Paul sent me this, and I laughed out loud. Yeah. It totally works. Totally works. AI, the worst vowels. Right? Everybody hates those two vowels. Anyways, all right. Let's go ahead and talk about the main topics. We have a lot of DC stuff. I mean, we kind of covered some of this stuff, of course, when the Daily Planet, the castings and everything. Let's see here. Let's just do some of the updated things when it comes to casting. Let's see. All right. Let me make sure I got everything here because, well, let's see. Practical Magic. It's like, what? Who was asking for a Practical Magic sequel? Like, damn. There's somebody else in that movie, too, that I'm like, wait a minute. There's somebody else known in that first movie. Where are we at here? That wasn't Saturday. That was Friday, right? I didn't have this fully ready to go. But, oh, man. Sorry. Just one thing I reposted this weekend that, kind of like, oh, yeah. Forgot about that. But anyways, so... I mean, let's essentially just, so on Friday, we got the rest of the Daily Planet. You know, we already heard about Beck Bennett, who's going to be playing, of course, Steve Lombard. And he's got rocking the mustache and everything. And then, of course, we have Michaela Hoover, who's playing Cat Grant, which is, when it comes to the crew of the Daily Planet, well, she's the sexy little one, that's for sure. If you guys remember Lois and Clark, I mean, how many times did she hit on Clark? So many times. So they're going to be a little bit of that added to it. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. And, of course, Michaela Hoover, well, I mean, I think it was explained by, it was described. She was described on the Vodka stream by Scott as she's the bouncy one. Yeah. She's the bouncy one. She was like the assistant to that president dude. And when she walked in, yeah, she was very bouncy. Very bouncy. So, she fits the mold of a Cat Grant, I guess you could say. And then, of course, there was the whole debacle that was Christopher MacDonald, not Christopher McDonald, who is playing Ron Trope. And that was kind of funny to see all that played out because I don't know how many times I saw Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, being shown in the featured image of articles and posts by certain, Twitter handles and everything. And you kind of going like, are you looking at the image? Are you looking at the image of Ron Trope? And you're actually thinking that Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, who's like in his late 50s, early 60s, old white dude, you think that he's going to be playing that character? Like, yikes. It was kind of just, it was funny how that was. But then, yeah, apparently he spells it MacDonald, not McDonald. So that was funny. That was just hilarious to see that. Yeah, sometimes when you see these trades, even the trades, because Deadline fucked up, but even the trades who are like, they're supposed to be like, be on top of this stuff, even they got it wrong. And I'm just kind of going like, yeah, sometimes you just, yeah, I get it. You want to get the news out there. You want to get the information out there and be one of the first to get out there. But sometimes you got to be like, wait a minute. Something ain't adding up right here when it comes to what the character looks like and what this actor looks like. Something not quite adding up. So that was hilarious. So yeah, we got a full-on, it's great that we have a full-on Daily Planet crew. We got Perry White, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Steve Lombard, Cat Grant, and of course, Ron Trope. Trope? Yeah. And now, let's see. Now we got some more people joining the DCU, which was announced today, and we'll get to the whole slate that was shown up right here. But we got two other people that's joining Peacemaker 2. We got Saul Rodriguez and David Denman. They're joining the cast. David Denman was he was in whatchamacallit. He was in Brightburn. He was the dad in Brightburn. Also, he was in The Office. And then, of course, Saul Rodriguez. I have no idea who she is, but going by that picture, I'm sold. Good. Yes, please. But she's playing Sasha Bordeaux. Sasha Bordeaux has a connection, a unique connection 2, Bruce Wayne was a bodyguard for Bruce Wayne, and you can start digging into some of her backstory, some nanotechnology that she kind of took upon herself to utilize to become somewhat of some kind of little superhero, stuff like that. But we got the checkmate gang that's going to be, I guess, basically being confirmed, that's going to be introduced when it comes to Peacemaker. And I think there's people out there that were basically going like, yeah, I think when it comes to that group was like, oh yeah, that's going to be shown in the Amanda Waller series, right? So I guess we're going to get an introduction to that right here. But it's just kind of cool that, hey, now we have kind of like a connection to, well, Bruce Wayne and Batman. So at least we have that. Checkmate gang organization, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, there's like, like a description right here. Sasha went on to have quite an adventurous life, from being framed for murder alongside Bruce to becoming an integral part of the Checkmate organization. Just reading it off right here. But yeah, she was a bodyguard and yeah, utilizing some nanotechnology. Not big time familiar with her character, but yeah. So we have that. So we have her. We don't know who he's playing. Your guess is as good as mine as who he's playing. So we have that, and then when it comes to, yeah, let's see right here. So we got a couple things from Jimmy Guns. So we have some things from Jimmy Guns answering some questions on threads. First off, when it comes to Green Lantern, and where did you see the BS of John being older than Hal? And he said, I have never mentioned their ages, but canonically, in the comics, yes, Hal has always been older than John, unless there is some Elseworlds tale I don't know about. So basically talking about the different ages that we already... So there was that, at least. Let's see. And let's see. Okay, just make sure I got my... There we go. Said right here, somebody asked, that's an awful lot of Daily Planet folks hanging out in what I assume is Smallville, because everybody was kind of hanging out, and James Gunn said, well, that's a pretty big assumption right there, so maybe they weren't hanging out in Smallville. And then, of course, when asked who David is playing when it comes to Peacemaker, he shrugged it off and said, like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? All right. This was interesting because I'm like, all right, what? Okay, please do not touch the slates because they're slates. Now we have a slate. Now we have a very beautiful slate. And I'm just kind of wondering, and I saw somebody in my mentions actually mention this too, when it comes to like these big movies that have these awesome designed movie slates, like the clapper, it's like, hey, can those be sold? And the Superman one's pretty damn awesome. This just like, hey, here it is right there. Camera, Henry Braham, and then, of course, director James Gunn. But look at that slate. That's a pretty cool-looking slate right there. The logo, the colors. Really loving how this looks. And whoever posted this actually got this sent to him, and I forgot exactly who posted it. But, yes, I don't know. But a lot of people were like, all right, let's get the magnifying glass out, and let's start looking at this slate. First off, I don't know what's going on behind it. It almost looks like... are we at the Fortress of Solitude a little bit right here? I don't know. To me, it almost seemed like this background right here when it came to the slate that maybe this was kind of representing something when it comes to the Fortress of Solitude. Maybe. Could be wrong. That's just me. That's what I thought was more of the Fortress of Solitude. And then there were some people up here, which looks very interesting because this right here, when you see the logo right here, it almost looks like it's on a coffin, which I'm like, no, there's no way that they're killing Superman again. It just kind of looked like that. But then some people were saying that this is like kind of representing his cape, even though it's blue. And then people were kind of assuming that the S is, in fact, going to be on the cape. I don't know. I mean, to me, I don't really care if the S is on the cape. Probably will be. But my biggest thing was just like, I thought the logo was just popping, and I thought the colors looked really good. But to me, this seems Fortress of Solitude-esque right here. This right here, I don't know. I don't know if that's like representing the cape or something. But I like the color scheme. Definitely like that. But it almost seems like it's all like a warehouse thing. It's almost like this is like a light I don't know if this is a light reflecting off the room or is this part of it, because I see other lights here too, and I'm just kind of going like, is this like a reflect? It probably is. It probably is just reflections from like the actual light in the room. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's part of the art. Nah, probably not, because it wouldn't be right there. So I'm assuming that's part of the lights of the room. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and think that this is, we have our first little teasing of like the Fortress of Solitude right here from some kind of concept art. So there's the slate with the logo, and I think it looks pretty damn cool. How are we feeling about it, huh? What's going on, Aaron? Good to see you. Matt Reeves story, let's see. Character Sacha Bareau was created in the 2000s. Very colorful. Colors are popping. The slate, really? Man, DC is not DCing anymore. What do you mean they're not DCing anymore? What does that mean, Black Red? What do you mean that DC is not DCing anymore? Explain yourself. I don't know. It looks pretty DC to me. It looks pretty freaking Superman to me. Just saying. And then one last thing. So James Gunn was actually asked, like, and of course somebody asked this, and it's like they were trying to get Jimmy Guns to call out certain fandom when it comes to stuff like this. And I hate it when fans do this, because it's almost like, yeah, you got fans that are trying to get the person to call out certain things or call out Marvel or call out somebody. I don't know. They're always trying to pin these, filmmakers and creators together against each other, I should say, when it's just stupid squabbles within fandoms and everything. But somebody asked this. I had a thread about what fandom is the most toxic. How about which fandom is the kindest? And James Gunn said, I find most fandoms are overall very kind. It's just the loud voices on social media that make it seem otherwise. But overall, I'd say horror movie fans are the kindest. I think he has a point there, because I'm like, yeah, do you ever hear about any squabbles or anything like going back and forth when it comes to the horror community? I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be, again, like the loud voices in every fandom. And I'm sure like, people that are, part of the Halloween fandom, maybe don't like the people over in the Friday the 13th fandom, or, the Pennywise guys don't like the Freddy Krueger guys. I don't know. Like, I don't really take a big dive into the horror community, but I don't see that there's too many squabbles. I think like horror movies are like killing it right now. They've been killing it, but again, it's just like it was almost trying to bait James Gunn into saying something. I don't know. But I like the fact that he said the horror community, and the fact that it's like, yeah, I totally agree that yes, most of fandoms are fine. It's just the loud voices always get the most attention. So it's like, cut it out. But it doesn't matter. We live in an age of social media, and everybody's just beating the shit out of their fucking keyboards. It's complaining about dumb shit. Now we got LexCorp. What? No, not LexCorp. No, this is not going to be LexCorp. That's going to be happening in this Superman movie, which was, at first I went, oh yeah, there's a LexCorp logo right there. That's pretty cool. And at first I just kind of went, all right, it's on, we have a set image that shows LexCorp, but then it didn't process in my brain right away. And then I had to pull it up again and went, wait a minute, that doesn't say LexCorp. It says LUTHOR Corp. What? What the hell? That's interesting. So yeah, we got some new set images right here that are showing barrels that have LUTHOR Corp on it, not LexCorp. So they're doing something a little bit different. And that's pretty interesting. All right. So here's some of the stuff that DC Updates posted right here. DCU Updates showing some set images. Is this part of that Middle East thing or something? I don't know. I know they're doing some stunt training and whatever the hell too. So, and the person, let's see, we got more images right here. It looks like it's on some kind of base. And credit to the OBV photography. They're the ones that did it right there. So that's cool. But yeah, LUTHOR Corp. Now, it just kind of goes, all right, so it's more of about the family name, not about Lex's name. So they're going that route, because I'm pretty sure there's been LUTHOR Corp in the comic books too, right? LexCorp just kind of flows. Luthor is an extra syllable, so it kind of throws it off a little bit. But if it's like a family name, it's a family corporation, keep it LUTHOR Corp. Maybe we'll see it being turned into LexCorp. Maybe that's what we'll see in this movie. Could be that. I don't know. How are we feeling? Do you like LUTHOR Corp? LexCorp? Which one do you like better? LUTHOR Corp. Doesn't flow as much. No one really cares that much about horror films anyway. I don't know. Again, the horror films are doing very well. They're doing pretty damn well. They've been doing well. So there's definitely a big, huge community right there. Not exciting me anymore, Dave. All right, Black Red, but you got to realize, I mean, there's other people that have other interests. Yeah, got to realize that too. I mean, again, we got to make sure, like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean others don't like it. I think that the slate is trying way too hard to be extravagant and flashy when it doesn't need to be. All right. I don't know. I just like the color scheme, and I think there's like a little bit of something on there. So, Cheesy Soups movie incoming. Yeah, Lane, I already, no matter how, I get it, Lane. No matter what, you're going to hate the movie. I know that. Let's see. Star Wars has by far one of the most toxic fandoms ever. True that. But I mean, he's not going to call that out. Star Wars fandom turned me off the franchise, quite frankly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. Too many fake. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. And they're having so much fun when it comes to the Alkalite right now too. So I don't know. I just try to ignore it. I mean, I obviously when I do this, I'm gonna comment about it, but so it doesn't bother you. Hey, what's going on, Trapman from Vegas? So you want to say people care as much about horror they care about comic movies or even sci-fi? No, we're not saying that too. But people care about horror. I mean. To say that, Black Red, this is what I'm saying. Your message of no one really cares that much about horror films anyways. That's just hyperbole. That's what we call hyperbole. Because there's not that nobody cares. Nobody really cares. There's a lot. If I follow people in the horror community. I follow a lot of things. And then I just look at the box office because horror movies can be very cheap to make. And then they turn up a profit because people are showing up to these movies. That's the thing. We're about to get the Terrifier 3. Okay, we got a fucking Winnie the Pooh horror movie. We're getting a sequel to that. We're getting Peter Pan horror. I mean, these movies are thriving because people care about horror movies. That's all. Anyways, all right. The Batman Part 2. What in the hell? Are we finally going to get an update on this? And just want to hear more things about it. And I know we're all kind of concerned. A lot of us can be concerned because it's like, are we going to hear anything about this? And I got burned today, guys. I got freaking burned today. Stupid. I went against my normal way of thinking and my normal way of tweeting. Because I've always tried so hard to not, anytime now that I see a scooper put something out there, I don't ever want to like retweet it or quote tweet it. I know I've defended scoopers in the past, but now I'm just kind of like, no, I'm going to stop doing that. Even when I see these entertainment or, pop culture or movie Twitter handles tweet out something, and then I see the source is from one of these scoopers, I won't even really want to mention anything about that. But hard not to talk about things that get put out there. And yes, I did, in fact, quote tweet a certain scooper out there today because they posted, and we all know who this was, but they posted that well, first off, there was a rumor that the Batman Part 2 was going to be delayed yet again. And it was like, nah, Jesus Christ. But then there was a rumor that from this scooper, and this is why I did it, because I've been saying this for probably the last year and a half, that the fact that we haven't gotten like this big, huge update, and we haven't heard about like the script being ready for the Batman Part 2, because Matt Reeves and I guess Mattinson, whatever, Also working on the script is they're working on not just part 2, but also part 3. Like, it's going to be one big long movie. It's going to work as one big long movie, and they've been working on it. So I did today post that, and I posted, I'm like, hey, I've been saying this, and I think this is the way to go, and I'm hoping that it's actually true. Naturally, Jamie Guns was asked about it, and, well, he just kind of, he debunked it. Is it true that the Batman Part 2 and Part 3 are shooting back-to-back next year? It is not. Why, Jimmy Guns? You couldn't just leave that one be so I can, like, you know, feel good about, like, thinking, like, yes, that's what's happening, right? That's what's happening. I still think it might be happening. I don't know. It just seems a little odd to me that Matt Reeves would be taking this long when it comes to the sequels. You know, and it's like, I don't know. Just to me, it's just like you don't go into it just with, I don't know. Just to me, it's just like if you already have the Penguin story that's going to continue off the first one, this one, and then Batman Part 2 is going to continue off of that, and then you would think that Batman Part 2. It just seems like there's already like this big, huge outline, and the scripts are just being made right there. So, but then I'm like, okay, does Jimmy Guns mean that it's not going to be shooting next year? Is it not going to be shoot? I don't know. There's just the fact that he just went, it is not. All right. So do you mean that they're not going to be shooting back to back? Is the Batman 2 not going to be shooting next year? Is it going to be shooting this year? So many questions. And maybe that's why he did it like that. I don't know. But I was just like, damn it, man. I still think it's got to be Batman. They're going to be shot back to back. It would be cheaper, too. It'd be cheaper to do that. Why? I mean, if you're going to do like one, if you're going to wrap up this story, one big giant story, just do it all at once. So it just seems like that's still going to be the case. But we'll see. That's the Batman Part 2 news right there. I hate, let's see, Scoopers are dog shit. Yeah. I hate dumb horrors, actually. Dumb movies in general. Okay. Phil, you're a horror fan, aren't you? Not sure if you're active in the horror community or not. Okay. The Batman is dead in the water? No, it's not. It's not dead in the water. It is not shooting back-to-back or not shooting at all? No. They talked about a potential delay in potential photography on, yeah, there's an official article that dropped. All right, so let's pull up that article. This is the only article that was talking about this. Top Film magazine. Okay? It's the only article. Didn't hear this from anywhere else. The Batman 2 is still in the works, but potentially being delayed again. It could be Pattinson's final Batman film. So this is the article that came out. Well, the Batman Part 2 won't be part of course, James Gunn, blah, 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 blah. Matt Reeves' sequel is delayed for the shift in DC structure and the hectic schedule of lead actor Robert Pattinson. The SAG-AFTRA strike certainly didn't help. Reportedly, James Gunn has been keeping a close eye on the sequel, and insiders have whispered rumors of executive notes being handed down to Matt Reeves, which we hope won't interfere with the story and whatever he's trying to do. It's being suggested that the Batman Part 2 could be Reeves' final Batman movie, as the DCU is aiming to be the main force and only universe in the continuation, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. No. Okay. Matt Reeves follow-up. Wow, the Batman, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to think. Where's the source? All right. That's the only article that came out. Top Film magazine? That's where I just kind of go like, all right. I saw somebody post it, and then I went, all right, is that even something? Like, I saw the watermark that said TF. I'm like, what is TF? Is that Total Film? No, it's Top Film. All right. That's where I'm just kind of going like, all right, so where did they hear about this? So they heard about this. Nobody else has heard about this. And then, of course, the rumor that it's going to be filmed back-to-back came out the same day. I don't know. It's all just kind of weird to me. It's all just kind of really weird. Hectic schedule from Robert Pattinson, I don't know. So, I don't know. I think we just got to be more patient. Just got to be more patient when it comes to the Batman Part 2 and everything. So, let's see. If they were shot back to back, it's clearly, yeah. That's why I think it's smart. And you better believe it's going to be like, it's going to be one big storyline. I've been calling that. I'm like, there's no way that it's not just one big storyline. Sure, we'll be getting Supergirl before Batman sequel. Let's see. This sounds like it's dead in the water. Okay. It's going to be funny when it's not dead in the water. That's for damn sure. James Gunn giving notes to Matt Reeves. Thought I've seen it all. That's not the first time we've heard that, Lane. And why wouldn't he give notes to Matt Reeves? And Matt Reeves, do you think that Matt Reeves maybe asked for notes? James Gunn asked for notes. Everybody asked for notes. Again, he's leading DC Studios. Of course he's going to give notes. I know you hate the guy so much, but now you've seen it all. Like, why wouldn't he give notes? It's like, what? Batman Begins and Dark Knight was a 2-year gap. Dark Knight Rises was a 3-year gap. True that. But let's see. Why should he give him notes if it's separate? Because he's still running. It's still part of DC Studios. Still part of DC Studios. And then there's filmmakers out there. I mean, every filmmaker does this. Even James Gunn, Zack Snyder. He asks colleagues for notes. Every creative person asks their colleagues for notes. This is not a new thing. It's like, hey, would you look at this and then give me some notes? Does it mean that Matt Reeves is going to take those notes? No. You just ask for notes. That's all it is, guys. Just ask for notes. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking colleagues for notes. Everybody does it. It's not a new concept. The DC Studios co-CEO giving notes on yeah. Wasn't Todd Phillips handing notes? Yeah. And he probably was giving notes too, but again, did Todd Phillips take in those notes or not? I guess we'll never find out. Maybe, who knows? But it's just like, no matter what, there's going to be those notes. There's always going to be those notes. But it's just like, just kind of makes you wonder, did they take the notes? It's just notes. Like, hey, here's some suggestions. And then it's like, then it's up to the filmmaker to take in those notes and maybe just look at it. And then there could be inspiration from those notes to go even a different direction when it comes to things too. I don't know. To me, I don't think they're freaking out over notes is not a thing that should be really thought about. It's just like a common practice, in my opinion. I don't know. Anyways. All right, we got the box office. And hey, guess what? We have a pretty decent box office that happened over this weekend. Not too shabby. You know, we got Bad Boys Ride or Die. We had The Watchers come out. And I really do want to see The Watchers. I think I'm going to go see The Watchers this weekend because, yeah, we got Inside Out 2 coming out. And to be honest, I'm just not really all that interested. Sure, the first one was good, but I'm just like, I want to go see the Shyamalan movie, the Daughter Shyamalan movie. So I'm probably going to do that this weekend. And I don't know. Anyways, but yeah. Bad Boys Ride or Die kind of was going to be interesting to see because a lot of people were going like, well, Will Smith, you know, his movie that came out after the slap didn't really do that well. And then we have a Bad Boys movie. Is this going to do well? Well, turns out, yes, in fact, that the movie actually did pretty well, especially for an R-rated sequel. $56.5 million domestically over the weekend. Overall, it crossed $100 million. $105.1 million. Not too bad at all. And The Watchers did $7 million. Did it have a worldwide release? Yes, it did. 11.6. Not too bad. Wondering what the budget is on that. 11 points. I'm guessing that the budget probably was not anything more than $10 million. If I'm looking at, if M. Night Shyamalan probably helped get it funded, I'm guessing that it's not anything, it's probably less than $10 million. So again, Mr. Out there, Black Red, talking about horror movies not doing well. I'm willing to get that movie probably cost $8 million. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Don't listen to me. What are you talking about? So what's interesting about the Bad Boys franchise and revisiting it is the fact that it's like the first one came out in 95, the second one came out in 2003, 2004, and then they waited to 2020 for the third one, which was like, damn, it's kind of crazy how there was like a big, huge gap between the second and the third. I mean, there should have been 2 more movies in between there, to be honest. Don't know why that wasn't the case. I don't know if there was just something that was going on with that, but it shows you that there still is an audience for Bad Boys and an audience for those characters. Wasn't there supposed to be a spinoff too with Gabrielle Union's character from the second one? There was supposed to be a spinoff, or did that happen and I just don't know about it? I don't know. I just remember there was supposed to be like a spinoff, and maybe there was, and it just didn't work. Was there an actual? Did they actually? I don't know. I think that actually did happen, and it just nobody cared, right? I don't know. But the fact that there's only 4 years difference between the third one and the fourth one kind of makes me wonder that is the fifth one? Is this one already going to be like is it already in development, and we're going to get that pretty, in the next 2 or 3 years before the guys get a little too old to that? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Watch in a violent. Yeah, no, I wanted to see In a Violent Nature as well, but I want to see the Watchers movie because I'm like, geez, with the success of Bad Boys, Warner Brothers should definitely get a move on the new Rush Hour. I know, right? I know. Wasn't there like talks about them doing another Rush Hour movie? I don't know. Maybe. I seen him with Shazam and Mom was a note. It was great. Okay. Never said they don't do well. We were talking about fandoms. Yeah. Okay. I got you, Black Red. I know. I'm just busting your balls a little bit. Don't worry. But yeah, I think I'm going to go see The Watchers on Thursday. I'm just not, Inside Out, I think the first one was good. It's a good Pixar movie, but I was just like, the sequel, I'm like, I don't know if I want to see the sequel. I'll wait on it. And I really want to see, that twisty Shyamalan movie. So they might take a breather before Bad Boys 5. Yeah, but, those guys are what? They're in their mid-50s? I mean, I don't know. You know how it is nowadays, especially like when Will Smith's trying to get back on the good graces of everyone, and then this movie does fairly well, It definitely will be seeing the Bike Riders. Is that coming out? That's coming out next weekend? I didn't see it on my... I'll have to double check because I do want to see that as well. That's coming out next week? Or this week? Or the following week? Is that what you're talking about? Not this weekend, but the following weekend. Anyways, all right. Rambling on. Let's talk some Deadpool and Wolverine. So there's been a lot of things that came out today. How many freaking posters? How many freaking posters can we have of Deadpool and Wolverine? And it's just of them. We have this crazy movie, and I mean, yes, it's called Deadpool and Wolverine, so naturally, it's just going to be nonstop posters of them. But it just seems like, can we get something else? Can we get something else? But it's just that's all we're getting right now. So we got some cool things. We got this right here. First look at AMC's limited edition Deadpool and Wolverine magnetic belt buckle pins, designed by Sales One Studio, which looks pretty cool. All right, that looks pretty sweet. And then we had this. Ryan Reynolds posting a little teaser.
I've always wanted to ride with you, Logan. Deadpool and a Wolverine. Can you imagine the fun? The chaos?
You mind putting your mask back on?
Super hard to eat while I'm wearing it.
It's super hard to eat when you're not.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Are you?
Our
What?
entire world needs you. Huh. Paul Rudd finally aged.
Shut up.
Oh my God. Us? A team? The answer is yes. Shake on it. God, you nicked it. Just got the tip with your little steak knife.
All right. Let's hear it, folks. Let's hear it. Whose legs are these? Who's playing Lady Deadpool, huh? That's what everybody was wondering. A lot of people thought it's Taylor Swift, but apparently it was confirmed today. But who knows if it's actually confirmed today? I don't know. But there was, comicbook.com. Brandon Davis has said, like, yeah, it's been confirmed that Taylor Swift does not make a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. So now everybody's just kind of going like, is this Blake Lively? That would make sense that it's Blake Lively playing Lady Deadpool, given she's married to Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, that was like the big thing right there. I mean, I literally saw people comparing the way that either Taylor Swift or Blake Lively walks, and they were doing side by sides. It was kind of interesting to see people really taking out their magnifying glass and trying to see whose legs these are. That's just pretty funny right there. So we got this cloud right here. That's pretty interesting. Of course, we got the doggy pole. Then you got all these other characters. Yeah. I think Juggernaut was actually shown, was actually teased, and we all saw a little glimpse of Juggernaut in here too. It's all kinds of things, but nothing too much when it comes to this little teaser. Just a little bit more of what we've seen. But my God, it just seems like there's just like posters like crazy that came out today. Let's see here. All right, so we got posters. We got the real 3D one. So that's cool. We got this drawn one right here, which I think might be my favorite. This is Fandango's poster. It's probably the best one just because I like how that is. Then we got the 40X one with both of them. We got the Screen X one with both of them and Doggy Pole again. We got this one right here. IMAX released their poster, and it's got their friendship bracelets, which, again, isn't that part of, like, the whole Taylor Swift thing, is the whole bracelet thing? So then people are still kind of going like, what the hell? Maybe she is in it. We got the Dolby poster right here. Them screaming at it, or at least Wolverine screaming at him. And I think that's it. But yes, it says Taylor Swift will not appear in Deadpool and Wolverine. I like how they retweeted Beetlejuice also won't appear in there either. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Like I said, you could take that all with a grain of salt when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine. She might make an appearance, and they just want to throw people off the scent. But I don't know. I got my tickets. I'm seeing it after I see a baseball game with my family. So should be fun. Should be good times. But yeah, a lot of posters. Posters galore, man. Anyways, let's see. What are we doing here? We arguing? What are we arguing about? Nolan North is my favorite Deadpool. What Deadpool comics do you recommend? Okay, so you talk about some Deadpool. Some of y'all have poor taste. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is the absolute best version of the character. There you go. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, are we still on other stuff? But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I think it was like, you want to talk about like perfect casting and like a superhero role that was meant to be. It was definitely Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I still remember that Sunday after Comic-Con when that footage got released. It was like, what? Man, take me back. Take me back. But, when you have that character, do I have an omnibus of a Deadpool somewhere over on my shelf? I forgot. I know I have some Deadpool stuff that I could recommend, but somehow, Dave, I suspect Lady Deadpool is Vanessa. You could be correct. You might be right on that. You might be right. You might be correct about that. So, Makes sense with the story. Yeah, it kind of does. So it could be her, but then again, it could be watch it actually not those Lady Deadpool legs. Watch it not even be a woman. Probably going to be a dude. It's probably going to be Robert Downey Jr. It's Robert Downey Jr. doing that. Maybe it's Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. But anyways, Deadpool kills a yeah, there you go. That's one. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. That's an insane one. All right, let's talk some Twitter questions. And yeah, on Wednesday's show, I'm going to talk about some like fan films and shit that's going to be coming about. So, We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Somebody hit me up about what they're doing. I think I already talked about it a little bit. And then there's another one that I came across too. So it's cool to see like people are making art and utilizing the tools that they can utilize. Really cool stuff. Let's see. All right. Eric, so Dave, Twilight of the Gods had me thinking Zack's love of longer storylines makes me think his true wheelhouse is shows. I think he's even said that too. I think he said that, yeah, just making his move to doing series. Yeah, it's definitely going to be what he's going to end up doing. He has a big screen aesthetic, but he's willingly brought that to the TV. And I suspect his shows will be accepted more readily by critics and audiences. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to be making. I mean, God knows what else he's got else, But I mean, obviously he loves just making movies, movies. Cooper Knox with the Bad Boys 4 reigniting the whole Batgirl conversation. I just want to remind people that Batgirl was a made-for-streaming movie and not a theatrical one. It would have looked a little cheap. Yeah, I guess there's that aspect of it, that maybe they would have taken some liberties on the fact that it wasn't going to be a theatrical. There is that element, I guess, but still, I don't know. I still thought, Miss Marvel, what they did with the pilot of Miss Marvel, really set an aesthetic and a tone that I thought was really good. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, if Matt Reeves is making changes for what he has planned for his Batman universe, starting with the Batman Part 2, would it mean his universe is going to end sooner than we think, throwing away projects he said he was doing, like Clayface and Scarecrow? Did he say that he was actually doing that kind of stuff? I don't know. Everything's so up in the air, and that's why it's just like, can we hear something? But I think Clayface and Scarecrow are going to be incorporated into Batman 2 and 3. And then the Arkham series, which is now sounding like it's not, I don't know. Again, just got to be patient. Devon Wooter, hey Dave, me and my friends just watched Bad Boys 4, great movie. Do you have a favorite from the movie? I think that part right there, this scene right here, when they're yelling at each other, it's a funny ass scene because it's like it starts off very like serious and dramatic, and then these two just start going at it, and it made me laugh out loud. The final fight and the scenes was crazy, and Ben Potter, he passed away. Will you raise? Yeah. Well, if I had a glass, we already talked. That's Ben Potter was a comic. What we talked about at the beginning. Yeah, that's what his name was. May he rest in peace, and condolences to his friends and family. Mr. G. Dave, 2 questions. Can you please bring back Exclusivo? Yeah, I know, right? I don't use that much anymore. Also, whatever happened to Ray on the Vodka stream and Chris Wong? Miss Ping Pong. Didn't you already ask this? I mean, Chris he's still part of a group chat that I always send it to that has all the normal dudes. I have to hit up Ray because Ray, Flightcast, he still is very much part of the Patreon community. But I know he just, like, when he switched jobs and he went off Twitter, he was working mainly Friday nights. He would always be working late Friday, so. But I do need to hit him up and see if I can get him back. I don't know if he has a Friday up. I think we messaged back and forth when he commented on one of my videos on Patreon, and I was like, hey, man, let me know when you have a thing. But I should just directly message him. Mr. Nobody, hey, Dave, I saw the LUTHOR Corp logo, and it kind of threw me off at first, but on the first hand, if you go back to Smallville or Lois and Clark TV show, Lex inherited the company from his father, so it makes sense to use the last name. I mean, yeah, it was even said in Man of Steel, or not Man of Steel, but BVS, where Lex goes like, oh, he was the Lex in LexCorp, so it still had that aspect to it too, but yeah, I mean, I think they're very much just hitting it that it's like, oh yeah, he inherited it. He'd inherited it, the whole thing. But, LUTHOR Corp is pretty interesting too. So, anyways, I know. I'll try to get Ray back. Don't worry. I keep forgetting about it because before, like I said, I would always just have like my DMs, and my DMs are a mess, by the way, but they're always a mess. I see messages in there that I don't see for like weeks at a time sometimes. And, but you know, but the group chats are always like moving along. So I have group chats where I put things in, and then if I've hit up people and stuff like that. But yeah, it just made it harder, you know, especially when Ray left Twitter. But, you know, like Phil, he left Twitter as well, but I just sent him the message through Patreon. So, but I remember it was like mainly had to do with like he got promoted at his job, so he was not able to stream on Friday nights. So don't worry, there's no like bad blood or anything like that. Same thing with Chris Wong. Chris Wong, he always has an invite, and he took a break. If you guys noticed, he took a break and now he's back. He posted some things on his channel saying that he's going to get back into it. So, but he just took a break, which is what you got to do. It's what you got to do sometimes. So we'll see. They'll return for sure. All right, guys, that's all we have for today's show. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. Always great to see you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like, thumbs up, do all that. Share it, comments, do everything. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the super chats that came in, and thank you for all the back and forth and engaging and all that. I'll see you guys, of course, on Wednesday for that show. Like I said, we'll be talking about some fan film stuff. We'll be talking about some reviews for Inside Out 2, and see what other craziness comes out when it comes to movie news and all the stuff that we love and all the nerdy stuff. All right, guys, love ya. Talk to you later.